Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small exploration ship designed for survival mode, and it's simply called the Dart, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on top of. So this is a very yellow ship designed to keep costs down, so it's quite easy to build in survival mode, so there's nothing too expensive going on with it, and with the way it has been set up, it's very easy to upgrade with whatever you want to have on it. But as a default, it does come with the very basics such as an ore detector, a way to mark your location with an action relay, and it is very speedy, very nimble, and can fly for a nice long time. And while I just mentioned upgrades, we turn across to this one which I fiddled around with earlier. What I've done with on the side here is just added some autocannons. So in this section right here, next to our small hydrogen thrusters, we've got this. We've got ourselves a conveyor corner, a covered conveyor corner, and some neon tubes on each side. Coming across to this one, I simply remove that conveyor junction, replace it with a T-junction, then add an autocannon and a cap just so I have a bit of firepower while flying this thing around. On the top here, I was tempted to put a small turret on top, but due to how big they are compared to the lab hydrogen tank, it just hung over the edges and looked quite awful. So instead of having a small access panel on top just covering up the access point, I put on a large access panel so I can open it up and dig my hands inside that tank and put bottles in and out if I need to do that. That's entirely up to you with what you want to do with this thing. Like I said, plenty of places around this thing to upgrade it with pretty much anything you want in the long run. Anyway, turning my attention back over to the original, right over here, pressing F10, finding the Dart in the spawn menu, there it is, and it's a very, very old ship thing right down there. Yes, this thing says it's 1,803 small blocks, which is not, it's quite a bit smaller, but does use a fair amount of the DLC packs. Up here we see it uses no mods, no subgrids, but of course DLC is used, which you can clearly see over here, and here's its description. So it says the Dart was a quick Saturday morning build that I did because I needed a small shuttle to use on the server I'm currently on. I tried to make it as small as possible to increase my docking options and to keep costs down. It's fast, has a decent flight time, but it is a little bit fragile due to the fact that 1/3 of it is an exposed hydrogen tank. And yes, I personally felt that in my own survival mode with a few friends, where I forgot to cover up a hydrogen tank, and well, it just got ripped in half. Anyway, down to here is its stats, so we can see its actual block count is only 235, quite a stark difference compared to what it says up here. There's everything includes inside it, and all the way down to the bottom, there are some optional mods you can use, which are mainly used for the screenshots on the Steam Workshop. So we've got the Edges Be Gone, which I'm not using, and then got a planet to actually fly around, then recolorable thrusters, which is always a fun one to have. Anyway, giving this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a very brief look around the outside, so just go through the controls, fly around for a bit, and I believe that'll be that. So over here at the very front of the Dart, this is what we get, where as we see we've got our camera front and center so we get a good view of what's going on ahead of us and to make sure we can avoid any unnecessary combat. To the left and right that is our lights to allow the darkness, especially helpful when poking around throwing asteroids, and of course we've got ourselves our flush cockpit to drive it around. If we move around onto the side, there we're at the very front with an action relay and some neon tubes in the white and the black, just adding a small fake antenna. And along the side here, some fantastic use of the yellow and white steel blocks. On this section towards the front, before we get over to our hydrogen tank, we've got an inset light, an LCD screen displaying a logo, and then the side of a heat vent, so we just about see the arrows, just act as a bit of extra decoration. Above and below our inset light is some hazardous skin in the standard colouring. And across to the middle, here's our hydrogen tank, a very exposed hydrogen tank, with a cap on each side, so some random person can't just dig their hands inside and just steal your hydrogen. Anyway, across to here, here's your hydrogen thrusters, which I talked about earlier where I replaced the side with that autocannon. We also got beam block and then some armoured panels. I'm always a bit worried about doing that on my own ship because I never quite know the hitbox of some of these blocks. No, it is perfectly fine after testing it, there's no smoke coming off it, it doesn't randomly blow up. It's all perfectly fine, and does work very well for some decoration. Anyway, onto the side here, as we saw when I talked about it earlier, there's your black neon tube with white on the end. There's of course your corner conveyor, dealing across those hydrogen thrusters, then towards the main body. Down here's another hydrogen thruster to move you up, and yes, we can fly this on a planet if you want to do that. It's good for pretty much anywhere in fact. Anyway, down there's magnetic plate where we just about make out the white ring. Across to here, more hydrogen thrusters for your left and right. Then towards the back here, we've got one large hydrogen thruster, the truss pillar with a red light on the end of it. Then below it, got a white light, make sure this whole ship is lit up all the way around. Anyway, towards the very back here so we can see what's going on. There we are, so there's the red light on the opposite side. There's how it's been partially housed up, just make it a bit more decorative on the end here. All the way up to here, we can see another hydrogen thruster. We see some corrugated armor panels just looping all the way across with a barred window in the middle. All the way down to here, they are the same setup right at the bottom. And moving all the way up, looking down, across, there's a barred window, more hydrogen thrusters, some curved steel blocks, there's some more interior lights, there's a piston cap, And in the middle here, there's your hydrogen tank, access panel on top to open up and play around with. Towards the middle, neon tube, another access panel to open up. There's your flush cockpits, and there's the neon tube at the very front. All the way down underneath this thing, looking as a whole, there we go. There's once again a cap on the hydrogen tank, a little bit of neon skin at the front there, some batteries partially cut up by some barred windows. Then towards the back here, there's a small connector, camera to help dock it up, 2 magneted plates, more hydrogen thrusters, about 4 hydrogen thrusters. Then we've got some more neon skin at the very back here. And as for that, that's a brief look around the outside of the Dart, and what it is, looks bloody fantastic, and should be very good to use in survival mode due to the way it has been set up. Like I said earlier, very easy to upgrade with whatever you want to have on it, but as a default, should work very well for light exploration and a light bit of all patch scouting, if that's what you want to do with it. But anyway, grab and hold my character wherever he's gone. There he is, he needs to fly all the way over to here, get into the cockpit, as we only got 2 tabs to go through. Since we've got tab number 2, which is a very basic one, that's your ore detector, your projector to project entire ships, so if you took damage, it should be very easy to repair up, your action relay to display your current location to everyone around you, so if you do find a precious bit of ore, you now mark it, and just have a drill ship come all the way over to you. The number 9 is for your lights all around the ship to turn up on and off. There we are, all of them get turned off, so now we just simply got the glow of the LCD screens and our hydrogen thrusters. Putting them back on, tab number 1, this is our main tab. We've got number 1 for our front camera to see what's going on. We've got number 2 for your spotlights at the front, turn them on and off as well. Number 3 is for your camera below the ship to help dock up that connector. Number 4 is for said connector sitting right next to it. Number 5 is then for the magnetic plates right next to that, towards the one at the front. We've got number 6 for your hydrogen thrusters all around the ship, turn them on and off. Number 7 for your antenna on and off. Number 8 for your batteries auto recharge. And then finally, number 9 is for your hydrogen tank to stop hull on and off. And with that, pretty much it for all the controls. Just checking all the other tabs, make sure there's no sneaky controls hidden anywhere. No, there is not. Now it is time to fly around and see how it handles. So moving forwards, here we go. And well, as you expect from something with a large hydrogen thruster at the back, we are bloody fast. But coming to a stop, we are basically just as fast, which is jolly good stuff. And if you really want to, if you want to be very nitpicky, you can go up to 100 meters per second, do a 180, and stop yourself just a little bit quicker. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day due to the fact we do have great stopping time. Nevertheless, that option is there if you want it. Moving left, and move right, again, some very good speed with that. Not as fast moving forwards and backwards, but still perfectly suitable for this type of ship. Moving down, feels like the slowest thing out of everything. Moving up, should it be a nice lot of speed? Yes it is, because we can go on a planet. Then for gyroscope controls, moving around, as with many small ships, as with many small fighters, we've got plenty of control over this thing, but there is a slight hint of weight, a very, very slight hint of weight. The point is not overly responsive, it's not going to flick around when you slightly hit the mouse. No, this thing's got a slight bit of weight on there, so it does feel a bit meaty when moving around, and feels basically what I'd expect for a small ship in this game. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the Dart. It's a fantastic looking ship, should be very useful in survival mode if you want to use it in survival mode, and as per usual, there will be a link to its description below, as well as a link to the Skybox I'm currently using. As opposed to end this video, what I'm going to do now is slam it into that other ship, and then that'll be that for this video. So here we come, should not take long, means how fast we can actually travel in this thing. Hiding the HUDs, making sure we're actually aligned with that thing, we're a little bit off. And there we go, a nice big slam into the middle. That ship is now spinning around, our hydrogen thrusters being turned off, although our hydrogen tank is still one piece, making me wonder if I did slap on a new battery if it will still be usable. So we're slapping a battery somewhere on there. There we go, now the projector has kicked in, our gyroscope's kicked in, but nevertheless that is still a great example of using the projector and repairing it up if you ever took serious damage in combat. But anyway, like I said, there'll be a link to the description below, and I highly recommend downloading and checking out yourself. And well, I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.